Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel dedicated to 1-144 aircraft model kit building. Today, I chose to make the Antonov An 8 from Easter Express at 1-144 scale. The kit was first released in 2014 in a military version. Easter Express released the civilian transport version of the kit in 2015, the one I will build. I am presenting you a full build slideshow of the kit building. The kit is numbered 14,495 and proposes decals are for either an Aeroflot plane having a registration dating from the Soviet Union, or its Russian registration. Another version is also available for the KIT Air Transport Company. I selected the Aeroflot livery with the Soviet registration Charlie 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 Papa 69334, as on the kit box cover. As per airhistory.net, the plane was fabricated in Gaz-34 factory in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, and delivered to the Soviet Air Force. It is unknown if it received its Aeroflot livery from the beginning. In 1998, it was acquired by an air transport company of Liberia, and then had a tumultuous history in Africa, like a lot of former Soviet-made airplanes. Traces of the plane are found in 2002, in Kalamai, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where it overrun the runway. It was put back into service by the Compagnie Aérienne des Grands Lacs of Rwanda, and crashed short of the runway in Congolo on January 22, 2005 in the Democratic Republic of Congo. On final approach to Congolo Airport, the aircraft crashed on houses located 100 meters short of runway. All 10 occupants on board, 7 crew members and 3 passengers, were injured while there were no casualties on the ground. The aircraft was completing a humanitarian mission from Goma with intermediate stops in Bukavu and Kindu on behalf of the French NGO Solidarités. The leasing contract stipulated that no passengers were authorized to board. The kit comes bagged in plastic. Instruction and decals are apart in the box. This kit was made 3 years earlier. I am just releasing the video now. While the kit looks nice, as all Eastern Express kits, molding is rough with minor flashes. Eastern Express business model is to make kits no one else is making, but at a lower quality and high price. The sprues were showing black stains of burnt demolding oil. Nevertheless, details are okay, even if engravings could have been finer. I started to mandel the cockpit, then painted it in flat light gray. When paint was dried, the panels were painted in turquoise and the seat covers in marine blue. The finished cockpit is shown. Note that no instruments decals were in the kit, nevertheless, the board will not be so visible in the mantled kit. I started to primer the fuselage in matte white and paint in gloss white, Aquacolor 04, around the windows. Windows are then glued. Weight was also added as bolts and screws in plasticine, and glued inside the halves of the fuselage, mantling the 2 halves of the fuselage. Putty and sanding will be needed. A detail on the bottom. As shown, pieces are not perfectly fitting together, which will require puttying and sanding afterwards. The rear cargo door is glued. I puttied and sanded then all imperfections on the bottom on the kit. I created my own masks for the cockpit and the navigator's nose using Revell masking tape and a cutter, and was then able to glue them on the fuselage. In the meantime, I started wings assembly. Here also, it required a lot of sanding for perfect match. I fabricated the propeller shafts by heat softening styrene as the proposed assembly steps of the engines would have made painting more complicated. Paintwork on the fuselage can then start. I already airbrushed the upper fuselage in glossy white, made the dark blue stripes on the tail. When the upper fuselage paint was dried, I masked it to be able to airbrush the bottom of the fuselage in light gray, Aquicolor 371. Wings and horizontal stabilizers were painted in parallel. I then masked and airbrushed in flat matte black in front of the cockpit. On many old Soviet planes, a black paint was applied in front of the cockpits to dampen the sun's glare. Otherwise, the sun's reflection interfered with the pilot's vision. The leading edges of the wings and the vertical stabilizer can be painted now, after proper masking. Fuselage decals are placed. When dried, I started the weathering effects. I also fabricated the beacon light heat, softening a transparent sprue, sanding it to give the hemispherical shape. Time to glue the wings and horizontal stabilizers on the body of the fuselage. And the model is set several days for perfect drying before the antenna thread is glued with super glue. The radio thread will be made of 0.06 mm diameter ultra-high modulus polyethylene braided fishing wire. The fully built and finished model is presented hereafter. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please don't forget to like or subscribe.